Hola y bienvenidos a otro episodio de Spanglish, por favor. You can find us on TikTok and Instagram, @Spanglish, por favor. Ahí nos pueden mandar sus requests o las opiniones de los topics that we talk about. Hola y bienvenidos a otro episodio de Spanglish, por favor. This is your girl Mary.
And Karo.
In the house. Okay, girl. First of all, and first and foremost, I just want to let you guys know that Karo officially agreed to be my co-host.
Yay!
So we'll have her in the show a lot more often. Thank you so much, girl. How you been?
I'm good.
How's everything going?
Life is busy.
It is.
But
You're
I'm
always
happy.
busy.
I'm happy.
You're always busy. You're taking vacation soon, aren't you?
Yes, finally. Girl, I haven't been on vacation for since before COVID. I've just been working on my life, working hard.
Sometimes it does take dedication to get yourself together, but you are going to Chicago soon.
Yay! I've never been. I'm excited. I
Where
know
are
that's
you
your
going?
favorite,
I love going to
place.
Chicago. That's one of my favorite cities. That in San Francisco. If I had hella money, I would still move to both places at the same time.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I would have a condo in San Francisco, and then I would have a high rise in Chicago.
Ooh.
But I don't.
But you know
so
what?
we haven't gotten there yet, but I will one day.
I'm excited. I'm going to Chicago during summer because I hate being cold. I hate being toda tensa. It's too much.
See, that's why I say half the time, because Chicago is one of those cities that it's freaking cold as hell. It's called the Windy City
For a reason.
Seriously, I remember the first time that I went to Chicago in the wintertime. It was the month of February.
Oh no, girl.
And I remember so I went shopping, right? I went shopping before the trip. I bought me these cute ass little jackets and everything. And my husband kept telling me you're not gonna need those.
Why, you're gonna need something more?
And I was like, no, I just want to look
Why,
pretty.
little jean jackets and stuff, little thin ones?
Yes. So we get there and I walk out. I even had my jacket on. I carried my jacket through the entire airport. And then when we get there, I walk out of the airport and I turned my ass right back around and went back inside. And I was like, nope, call an Uber. Call an Uber. When he's here, you let me know. I'll step outside. It was
so bien pera con those little jackets, huh?
The first thing we did, we didn't even go to check in. We didn't go eat. We didn't do anything. We went straight to the mall and I had to buy jackets. And we spent I think in jackets and scarves and everything that I felt like I needed to survive. I think we spent $400 and I was like, fuck. I could have just saved all my money back home.
A good jacket's expensive. A good ass, actual one that actually works for really cold weather, those are expensive.
Super expensive. And I got everything on sale because, I like the sales. But I got everything on sale. Yeah. I still have my jackets though. So every time I go,
girl, they last forever.
Yes. I still have my little section of my jackets for Chicago.
Your Chicago section. You Chicago wardrobe.
But the summertime is nice.
Yeah.
My best advice would be bug spray. Make sure you have bug spray with you at all times.
Yeah. Okay.
Bug spray. The first time I went to in the summertime, llegué toda picoteada.
Okay, that's good to know.
But it's nice.
So as far as what do you recommend for me to pack though? A little bit of everything? Does it get cold during?
It does. It can get cold, especially if you're gonna be around the water in la noche. It does get a little bit cold. But in the summertime, it's super humid. You're not used to humid, so you're not. My hair's gonna be your hair exactly. You're not gonna be doing your hair. You're gonna be doing your makeup. Do it light. Don't do too much because then you're trying to clean it off and stuff. But it's a nice city. You're gonna enjoy it.
I'm so excited.
You're gonna love it. I love Chicago. I love the city. Every time we go, we stay downtown. That's my favorite place to stay at. They have so much there. They have really good food, restaurants, coffee shops, shopping centers. That's a big for me. I love shopping. But it's a really, really good city with a lot of diverse options as far as food and clubs and things like that. I've only been clubbing once there, and it was a 3-story club. So they had bachata upstairs.
Why we think that Vegas is the only place for nice clubs, right?
I know.
That's what I think.
I know.
And it's not true.
You know what? The first time I went to Chicago, and because I used to go, but I would stay around Naperville because that's where my husband grew up in. But when I went to the city, I was like, oh my God, Vegas is not a city. It's not.
It's small, right?
It's not. It's not even a quarter of a city.
I bet.
Like, that's a real city. Like, I love getting a high rises downtown. In the mornings, you open your windows, and then like you can hear the city. You can hear
the cars,
the
energy,
the dee, the honking. You can hear the ambulance, like the sirens. If you can hear a whole city, and then you go down to the city, and I usually go for my coffee early in the morning. Like I'll find like cute little coffee shops to go to, and you see people walking around with their dogs and just about their business, and people are like dressed up all business wear, and I'm like, oh my god, okay, this is the city.
Our downtown is not like that, guys. Our Las Vegas downtown is not like that.
Not at all.
It's fun, but it's not.
Yeah, it's a facade. I call it a facade.
Yeah,
that's what I call it. It's a facade, because if you think about it, with us in our city is really just the Strip.
Yeah, but you know, I work with a lot of people that are out of town, obviously, because sometimes they come and get married here or stuff like that, and then literally tell me, I thought Vegas was only the Strip. Where do you guys live? I'm like, girl, that's not it. Vegas is not just a Strip. Like, we have everything here.
And if you're a local and the only reason you go downtown or the only reason you go to the Strip is if you work there. It's very rare for us, even when we go out, like if we're gonna go clubbing, we really don't go to the places where people are like,
we go more local places.
Yeah, a lot of people will hit you up and they'll be like, hey, I'm in town, where should I go, what bar should I go? And I don't know.
Yeah,
we don't go out like that. We don't have that type of time. We work.
We have lives
here. For real. But yeah, no, but the first time I went, I was like, oh my goodness, Vegas is really not a city. It's a facade of a city.
But you know what? I love Vegas.
Yeah.
I love it. I've been here since I was 8. And I came from Mexico.
Where did you guys move from? Mexico?
Yeah. So I was born in California. Me and my sister, I have a twin, by the way. Her name's Carla. Hi, Carla.
Hi, Carla.
Okay, so we have an older sister, but, you know, we're going to talk about me and my twin.
It's about me and my twin.
Me and my twin. But anyways, we were born in California, and then my older sister was actually born in Mexico, and when she was getting ready to go to start school, my parents were like, well, maybe we should have her start in Mexico. My parents are from a border town called Mexicali.
Okay.
So then we moved to Mexicali, and we were there until we were 8, and then we moved here to Vegas, and that's all I've known. Like,
really,
I've never lived anywhere else from Mexico and Vegas.
But do you travel? Like, do you go to other cities that you like?
Okay, so I've only probably traveled like around Nevada. So I've been to Utah, Arizona, California. I've been to Florida. But my goal is to travel more states. I want to because I love going to like Mexico, like to make vacations, right, in Mexico. But I want to explore all the states. Yeah. Like, I want to explore here in the States, like different cities, different states, you know?
Yeah. I think it would be great to like we should do a road trip.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Or record on the road.
I want to do like an RV.
Yes. I guess
I've never been camping.
You've never been camping?
Never.
Okay. Like at all? Like not even cabin camping?
Cabin, yes.
Okay.
But like that's not camping.
No, it's not. It's more like just making sure the bears don't eat you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't do regular camping. Like people that go out and they put the tents and all that stuff. I couldn't do that. I couldn't sleep.
No.
Every noise
I would do an RV.
Like,
I can do an RV. I don't know about a tent. My back hurts from working, so I need to actual like
be able to lay down and relax. I don't know. My husband has been telling me we should buy an RV. I just think of like the reduced face. I know, but it's just phobic, and then you're in there for hours.
I mean, you only have to be there when you sleep, right? Because if the weather's really nice, you're gonna enjoy the outside, the nature, you know.
True that. Well, maybe we should do that. I was looking at Airbnbs actually a couple weeks ago, like the random.
They're so expensive now. Like the cool experience Airbnbs that you're like, oh, I wanna get like a really fun, different experience. All of those are like so overpriced.
So here's my secret. I usually look for like months in advance.
Okay.
And I usually almost because I'm cheap, girl. Like I like the good stuff, but I'm not willing to like pay expensive ass money or a lot of money for stuff.
How far in advance so we can tell?
Usually, for example, for my birthday every year I do something. So for my birthday this year we ended up going to San Diego. We went to go see Chiquis. We got an Airbnb, which was really nice because it was like a mother-in-law to like a rancho.
Oh,
So it was
how
really cool. There was
Those are
like
cool.
there was like the whole the árboles de naranjas. Like there was so many. Girl, one of my girls was out there picking oranges and shit. She was like, "Oh my
Breakfast.
god!" Yes, real. But it was really nice. It was in the middle of nowhere. It was outside of San Diego, actually.
Where in San Diego? Do you remember the city?
I can't remember the city, but it's like 30-40 minutes outside of San Diego.
Okay.
Like out in the fields and stuff. The nature was really nice. It was nice to hear the birds and see the stars and things like that.
Yeah, we don't have that in Vegas.
No, we don't. And you experience that only when you go to other places. So
Yeah.
I got that place last year in July, I think is when we started planning. So I'm going to start planning for my birthday already. My birthday's in April. So.
Oh, that's good to
So
know.
I always
Guys,
do that.
plan ahead.
A whole
If you
year
guys
in
wanna
advance. Yeah.
Get a good experience.
Plan in advance.
Yes.
Plan in advance. The year before we went wine tasting and we got a whole rancho to ourselves. It was really, really nice. Like,
I want to do that.
just do it in advance, girl. Just do it in advance.
All right. Well, I'm a very last minute type of person, but I can't. I have to do stuff. I have to start planning things, you know?
We have to, because you gotta go out.
Yeah, I feel like that's why I go wrong. That's why I don't do vacations
You
because I
work
don't
too
plan them
much.
ahead.
And you work a
Yeah.
lot. Like you have to give your Karo. I will be your personal vacation assistant
Please,
person.
thank you.
I will set you up. I'll be
Thank
like, all right, girl, this day, no work.
Okay, I need that. I really do need that.
You do.
Uh-huh.
You do. I think everybody needs that. I used to work so much all the time when I was working for corporate. I used to like just get so excited for my 2-week vacation. You know, they give you 2 weeks. Every like time that time came around, I would get super excited, and now I'm like, no, ya me voy. Cada ratito.
Okay, here's the thing though. I used to love taking vacation when I would get paid for vacation.
True that.
And like now I just have to like, I'm fine. I'm not saying like I'm over here like struggling and
Yeah.
shit, but si me cuesta sometimes to be like, oh, I'm not gonna work for like this so many days, you know?
Mhm.
I'm fine. I guess I just
You just have to
I'm
make
a
it
Virgo,
happen.
guys. I'm a Virgo. I overthink everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
You do overthink things more than I do, huh?
Yes.
And I'm an Aries, and I overthink things.
I overthink everything. Everything.
Okay, so next time that you want a vacation and you're overthinking it, you hit me up. I
And
will
you're gonna
say
be like,
yes.
you need to go.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll do that.
Sounds
Nos
good.
ponemos de acuerdo.
Sounds good.
But a lot has happened since we last talked.
Mhm.
So the last time we recorded was back in April, which sucks because my goal was to record at least once or twice a month.
Let's do that.
But it's really, really hard because, you know, we get busy, life, things happen. I got sick. I was sick for, I think, 3 or 4 weeks
Oh, I
straight.
think I remember.
So I had a scare. And I thought I was pregnant, and I was like,
Oh, you were
no.
telling me about that.
So I was
That
like
was
really,
scary.
really scared. Because I don't want kids. I don't want more kids. I have 2, and I think
that's
that's
perfect.
a lot.
You guys are
already.
even. It's an even
Yes.
family.
Well, I still win because they're boys, so they always choose mommy first. So yeah,
Mhm.
I win.
Yeah, you're the
No,
queen.
Yes, but I got that scare, and I was like, fuck, what am I gonna do? You know, things start running through my mind. Like, am I gonna keep it? Am I not gonna keep it?
It's scary,
Do I
right?
really- you know, these are decisions that as a woman we don't think about until you're like in that position.
Yes.
And so I got so freaked out that I started doing some research, and I came upon the Roe versus Wade case, which got overturned in May last month. And it just got me thinking, because I'm like, there's a lot of women that are in that position. For
Yeah.
me, it was just a scare. Luckily, it was just a scare. I wasn't pregnant. I've been on birth control for years. I usually keep the same birth control because it works perfect for me.
Yeah.
But for the first time, I started to miss my periods, and that's never happened to me before.
Mhm.
And I know that it can happen. It's not one of those things that are like, you
But
know.
if you're so consistent with your period, that scares
Yeah,
you because you're like,
super.
wait, it has never happened before. Only when I get
Exactly.
pregnant.
And then you're like 1 month, 2 months, and you're like, wait a minute. And I know with my oldest son, I knew I was pregnant right away, so I started taking the pregnancy test, and they were coming back negative at that time. But I think it's because it was too early in the pregnancy. So this time around, I tried to calm myself down, and I tried to like just wait a whole like 2-3 weeks before I decided to take a test, and it still came back negative, thank goodness. But then, you know, reality starts to sit in, like, oh my God, what if I really am pregnant? What if I have to go to the doctors and I get checked and I'm pregnant? Like, what am I going to do? Because the thing is that at this point in my life, I don't want another kid, and that's the reason why I take care of myself. That's the reason why I'm on birth control. That's the reason why I'm consistent with making sure that I go to my doctor and stuff like that. So with me not wanting a child, with me doing everything that I can to not have a child, and then all of a sudden getting pregnant, you know, some people would tell you, well, that's God's will.
Yeah.
My problem with that saying is that I don't believe in the traditional God that people believe in. I believe in the universe. I believe in the energy. And so for me, it's a little hard to believe that magically something just wants me to have a child. It's like, why would you want me to have a child if you knew that I didn't want a child? I don't want no more kids.
You're like, I didn't ask for this for my...
This is not what I wanted. So then, you know, I started doing some research about like abortions and, you know, stuff like that. And I came across the Roe versus Wade. Have you heard about that?
Yes.
So for the people that don't know what that is, that was a case that was taken to the Supreme Court, and it was just overturned last month. And it's very scary because there's states here in the States that are still very traditional.
That's so crazy.
So there's states that don't allow women to have abortions. There's states that don't allow women to use certain contraceptions and things like that. And so it kind of upset me because, you know, these people arguments are really, you know, well, the Bible says and things like that. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's your book though. Like, that's you. Why should you and your book have to tell me what I can and cannot do with my body, what I can and cannot do with a pregnancy that obviously I didn't plan and didn't want. So it just made me really sad. And then I started looking at like other parts of the world. Yo soy de Honduras, so estaba mirando las reglas en Honduras, and over there they're so old school and traditional that it just made me so sad to know that there's women out there that just don't even have the right to say, I don't want this child.
And a lot of times, girl, I feel like women that do decide to go that route with abortions, it's because they're trying to do the more responsible things. Maybe they're not financially stable for this or mentally stable or ready. For me, having a kid is a lot. Like, it takes a lot. Not only that, you guys no saben si el niño va come out with any mental or like health issues and stuff like that. Like, that's scary. And I feel like men will never understand that.
No.
So it's really sad. It's really sad.
And see, that's the thing. My husband and I started to talk about the topic, you know, 'cause I told him straight up, I really don't want any more kids. And he was like, you know, well, we gotta have it. And I was like, we have to have it? Like, excuse me? Like, you know, you don't know what it is to be pregnant. To begin with, pregnancy is not everything rainbows and colors and unicorns.
Girl, like, women, there's a lot of women that, like, die from, like, birth, like, giving birth, you know?
And it's not only a physical change in your body, but it's also mental. It's also, you know, draining on your soul, especially when you have other things going on. My first pregnancy, I had a perfect pregnancy. Like, my pregnancy was super perfect. When I had my second pregnancy, me tragué todas mis pinches palabras que dije, because when I had my first child, I was like, what are women complaining about? You carry your baby, this is beautiful, then you give birth to it, and then, you know, you hold your baby and you love it. And my second pregnancy, from the minute that I got pregnant, I want to say, I was sick all the time. I was giving birth in a hospital and I was still throwing up. Morning sickness. It was horrible. En te comienzo con, en el momento I was going through like a mental breakdown. So my emotions were just all over the place.
Girl, it's probably also like the anxiety that you had from everything that you were going personally to like the pregnancy. It's a lot.
It's a lot, and I think that people that have opinions as such, and I get it, you know, I was having this conversation with some of my girls, and, you know, one of them is super, like, pro-life, which I completely 100% respect. That's how she feels, and that's what she backs up, and I like to have these discussions with people because these are discussions that we should be having, and we should also be open to putting ourselves in other people's shoes, in other people's situations. You know, and I was just telling her, what's that kid? There was a documentary on Netflix.
I know which one you're talking about.
Right.
That one that passed away. That the
mom and the
boyfriend or
stepdad.
something.
Yeah.
Miguel, right?
I think that's what it was. No me acuerdo de su nombre.
I know which one. It's so
Pero why does society feel the need to have to force these women to have kids that are not ready to have kids? Si pudieras decir algo tan estúpido como, well, they shouldn't have sex. Maybe. But we all know that that's not possible. Like, come on, man. You know what I mean? Like, it's not something that it's possible. So it made me a little sad to see that this case was overturned, because now it just means that there's going to be states that are going to be imposing their own rules, and they're going to be, changing women's lives. And it's a drastic change to go from being able to not being able to, and to have someone tell you what you can and cannot do with your body.
You know what I also read too, like, a lot of the times is, they're probably not going to be, like, it's going to be illegal to, like, for abortions, but women are still going to find a way to do that, and it's going to be so unsafe.
Yes, exactly. So they're going to look for other options. Muchas de las novelas más viejitas, you see scenes, obviously. Bien traumadas nosotros de las novelas. Sí. Where women will go to, like, ¿cómo les llaman?
Señoras, right?
Sí, que van y les sacan los bebés. Yeah. And, like, that right there, even having a miscarriage is very traumatic for a woman's body. So let alone going to someone who's not medically prepared to be able to perform an abortion, but that's the only option that you see, only because you can't go to a doctor. And you know that in certain states, like, for example, like Alabama and Mississippi, which are southern states, and there's other states, of course, they're very traditional over there. So not only does the patient get, legal repercussions, pero también los doctores. So as the doctor, you can't even prescribe. Plan B is one of those things, and Plan B, I was doing my research.
So wait, is Plan B gonna not be available anymore?
Exactly.
What?
On some states, they're gonna, because their argument is that Plan B is basically preventing not preventing, but
birth control as well. So what? Birth control?
También. Los contraceptives.
Wait, what?
They can't do birth control. They can't do the Plan Bs. They can't do abortions. And the thing is that there's women that, for example, get raped, or women that get pregnant that don't want a child, like I didn't want a baby. And they're going to be forced to have these kids. And so can you imagine what that's going to do to these women? And a lot of people say, pues hay que ponerlos en adoption.
You know what I noticed too? The people that have a say about pro-life, and again, I'm not judging or anything, but the people that are saying pro-life, those are the ones that no me van a mantener el niño. And those are the ones that are against, like, all the help, like, that women get as far as, from taxes and, things like that.
And these are also the people that are not going to go out and adopt kids.
Exactly, that part.
Because, do you
see them fostering kids?
Exactly.
No.
Exactly. So it's very selfish for you to want a child to come to this world that isn't wanted to begin with. And you can say, well, there's a lot of people that can't have babies, and you know what I mean? That's all good and dandy. But are these people going to be adopting every child that comes in the system? Because these kids go in the system. They go from home to home, foster home to foster home. And when they turn 18, they literally just throw them out in the world.
And you know what?
And they're on their own.
There's cases too, like, not every foster should be fostering. And that's creating trauma for all these kids and bringing them into adulthood with a lot of traumas.
A lot. So it's a really sucky situation. And I feel for the people that live in certain states, because now they're just gonna have to have these babies and bring these babies into the world that who knows what their life is gonna be like.
That's very unfortunate.
It really sucks. Growing up, I lived a lot of abuse, and I don't think I deserve that.
No.
You know what I mean? I don't think that any child deserves that. And unfortunately, there's so many kids that are brought into this world, and they're experiencing so many different type of abuses. And now to force women to have kids that they don't want, like, I can't imagine what that's going to create. That's going to create a lot of issues.
Yeah.
Not only for the kids, but for these women and for the community, because there's a lot of people que andan en la calle, nunca se sintieron amados, nunca se sintieron que los querían, and now they're doing things that they shouldn't do. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that come out fine, and there's a lot of people that get their shit together, but that's not everybody.
Not everybody, no.
And it's definitely not going to be every kid that gets forced into this world. Like, it's a very selfish thing to even consider. ¿Qué le vamos a hacer, no?
I feel like we're going backwards. It's crazy.
We are.
We're like 2022, and we feel like we're going backwards, and that's very sad. It's very. You would think we've gone a long way as women, you know, like first, like, you know, getting the right to vote and, you know, things like that. Mm-hmm. But now I feel like we're going backwards. Like, how are we losing rights now? Like, yeah. You know, we should be gaining more
freedom, more rights, but unfortunately we're going backwards. And it sucks, especially for it being the U.S. and being a country known for its freedom and, you know, for the rights, and just to be a woman or to be a person of color, you still have to fight for certain rights. It's like, fuck.
Yeah.
¿Qué estamos haciendo? Like, why can't we fix this? It really sucks. But yeah, so I had that scare and, ay, gracias a Dios. Al universo y a todo mundo.
El universo te dijo no.
El universo, yeah, I'm glad because I don't ever want to be put in a position where I have to make that decision. You know what I mean? Like, it's not something that, oh, if I get pregnant, I'm just gonna get an abortion. No, this is something that you actually have to think and process and go through.
And I
it's
feel
a
like
hard decision.
I feel like people think that as women, when we're like, oh, we're just gonna get abortions, right?
Mm-hmm.
That it was just like we just thought about it and we're just gonna do it. No, that's like a hard decision. Like that's
a super hard decision.
And I'm pretty sure with any women that has gone through this, they probably go back and think about this decision over and over, even if it's years from now. You know,
they're still dealing with it like on a daily basis.
Yeah.
I have a friend que me estaba diciendo, she was like, well, you know what? Maybe instead of approving of abortions, maybe we should just set como programas para ayudarle a las mujeres, porque hay mujeres que abortan a sus niños porque piensan que financieramente no la van a hacer, o abortan a sus niños porque no se sienten bien mentalmente. Maybe we give them the help, maybe, and that's a great thing. To me, I think that before we go straight to the worst decision, let's give them that option. Let's give them that option to go to therapy. Let's give them that option to see if we can financially help them and help them get stable. My only problem with that is that what if that woman never really gets her shit together? What if that woman abuses this child or abandons this child? There's a lot of women that just leave their kids with whoever.
Yeah.
Like, or no tengo tiempo, my kid is just here. And these kids go through shit because their parents are not there. And so it just, I don't know. It did make me really sad that in 2022, this is where... and there's not one law or one policy that tells men what to do with their bodies.
Nothing.
At all. Like, there's nothing that ever tells them what they can and cannot do. They're out here just putting babies in women, and it's okay. Women just have to deal with it. And then someone I was going, so when I do my research, I like to look up the topics on like social media. So, you know, someone was making an argument, okay, so if a woman decides to keep a child, does that mean that if the guy doesn't want the baby, they should not be taken advantage of as far as like child support goes? Like, you know, that's another great topic, because if you look at it in both sides, you know, if I was a man and I impregnated you,
I feel like it takes two to tango, right?
It takes two to tango. I have boys, so I have to prepare my boys for, tú siempre te tienes que proteger. You cannot take a woman's word and because she tells you that she's on birth control or whatever, like, it's your job to make sure that you're not creating these babies and just making them. Because there is women out here también que son un poquito aprovechadas, and, you know, they'll tell men like, I'm on birth control, don't even worry about it. And then even birth control.
But I do feel like as a woman too, I feel like you know your body. You know, you know your body more than anybody. Like, they don't know what we go through. They don't know, like, you know, so take care of it. You know, if you're not planning, but also too, there's times when even birth control doesn't.
Yes, I know, and that's what I was scared of. I was like, oh my god, who am I gonna sue? And you can't even sue anybody. That's funny. It's a really hard topic. My mom, she thought I was pregnant. I kept telling her I'm not pregnant. I knew deep down I wasn't. I think it was just a scare of, oh my god, it's been like 2-3 months already and I still haven't gotten a period and I'm starting to feel sick because I was getting sick. Pero she really thought I was pregnant, so she was like calling me like, hey, make sure you don't have an abortion.
Well, remember she called you at one of your lash appointments.
And then after that, she called me again that night. And she was like, I just want to make sure that we can have this conversation. I was like, there is no conversation to have. I'm not pregnant.
It's funny how even relatives, things that have a say in our bodies, like, no, we're going to do what we want.
Yes. And she was like, you know what, you're gonna regret it. I had an abortion once. At one point, I was being wild and crazy, and I got pregnant. And I decided to have an abortion because I felt like I no iba a poder salir con un chiquillo adelante. And she was like, but it was the worst decision I ever made. And I was like, Mom, first of all, you're stressing out for nothing because I'm not pregnant. And second of all, I was like, that was your choice. And you had to live with the consequences of your choice. So if I choose to have an abortion, or if I choose to have this child, now I'm going to have to live with the consequences of my actions. I have 2 kids. I didn't want kids. To begin with, I didn't want kids at all. I always tell my kids, my oldest one always gets offended, and he always tells me, hello, I'm here. And I'm like, no, I really didn't want any kids. Like, I didn't want kids. I helped my mom raise my 3 sisters. I helped my mom in a daycare. I was like, fed up with kids. So I didn't want any kids at all.
You're such a good mommy.
Man, no, sometimes I'm over there. Sometimes I'm just like,
I mean, girl, me too. I have 1 kid and I feel like that's enough for me,
And for you, I can only imagine how much harder it is too, because your baby is autistic. So you deal with daily tantrums, with
so
episodes. I just started watching Atypical.
Isn't it so cute? I told you to watch that, right?
I love that.
You know what's next you need to watch? I don't know if you've seen it, but it's called Love on the Spectrum.
Love on the Spectrum.
And there's the Australia one and the USA. You need to watch both.
Yeah.
It's about it is off topic a little bit, but it's about adults saying because they're over 18, like 18 through like 30s, but it's about adults like that are trying to find love and they're autistic.
You know what? I think after watching Atypical, I never thought of a lot of things because my kids are not autistic, so I never had to experience any of that. And after watching Atypical, I'm like, we need more shows like these.
Oh my gosh.
To educate the rest of us, because a lot of us don't know
or understand or how to like. I feel like, for me, before I had an autistic kid, it's normal to. You shouldn't, but like if you see like a kid like throwing a tantrum in the middle of like the store, you were like, ¿qué le pasa? Yes. But I feel like watching those kind of shows gives you a little bit more information and kind of understanding.
Yeah.
And it helps you not to judge.
A lot. Watching the Atypical itself, and seeing how his brain worked.
Yeah.
I was just like, holy shit.
It's so different.
Like, it's totally different. And then seeing the outsiders not understand him, it broke my heart so much. And I was like, you know what? We don't have enough education on autistic kids.
Girl, there's so many. There's like, because I follow a lot of like groups, mom groups about like, because I've been dealing with it and it's been really hard for me, and I'm a single mom, and his dad's there too. I do get support from him too, but we're always not on the same page about his treatment sometimes or what I want to do and things like that. So I'm in like mommy groups, and there's times where they say like is it possible to have multiple autistic kids? Girl, there was like this comments of like people saying, oh yeah, I have 3 autistic kids. Oh, I have 2. Or I'm autistic and I have all this. Like, where did this come from? Like, how did that even happen? Like, when did it stop showing up more like autistic?
I think we didn't recognize it back in the day. Los mirábamos como niños berrinchudos. Los mirábamos como,
difficult
you're just
kids.
acting out. I have one of my nephews. He was going to therapy. We're actually trying to find help for him in the little small town that they live in, which is really hard because it's not a bigger city. Pero we believe that he has some type of autism because, like, sometimes he loses it. Sometimes he'll hit himself, or he'll hit his head on the wall.
That's not all.
Or he'll throw tantrums. And al principio, de unos chingadazos que se levante y ya. But it's like, no, when you're dealing with these type of kids, you can't talk to them a certain way.
They don't grasp. They don't grasp when you talk to them.
And after watching Atypical, I started seeing certain behaviors that I was like, that reminds me of my nephew. So now that I go back, whenever I go back and I visit him, last time that we were there, he threw a tantrum because it was his birthday. He got $100 and he wanted to go outside. So this time around, instead of like screaming at him and telling him, listen to your mom, don't you hear your mom talking to you? I sat down with him and I talked to him and I explained to him, and at the end of everything, we came to an agreement. Either you go outside with your without your $100, or you stay in the house and you keep your $100 in your pocket. And he ended up going outside. He gave his $100 to his mom. But I was like, fuck. Like, a couple years ago, we would have not been able to...
But imagine if you wouldn't have seen this show, you wouldn't have, like, had the patience or, like, the understanding to be like, oh, maybe I just need to, like, go around. With these kind of kids, you have to do things so differently, right?
You have to get down to their level. Like, I literally sat down on the floor with him, and, like, I was explaining to him, and then I let him choose where he wants to hide his $100. Things that I've never had to do with my kids because
they understand that you can tell them, like, no, deja el billete ahí and lo dejan, you know?
O dejas el billete o te vas para afuera o te quedas adentro. Like, they understand with me talking to them like that. With him, I had to sit down, I had to explain, I had to let him pick and choose where he was going to leave his money so that no one took it because he thought somebody was going to take it. So it was just, I felt so like, fuck, we do need these type of education in our society because we don't have enough. I remember when we used to go to school, we used to be scared of...
And la niña o niño que era un poquito más diferentes, right? When they
like, we would be scared. And now I'm like, fuck, that's fucked up. Like, we need to educate our kids and educate other adults because these kids do become adults. And...
Dude, you know what kind of like scares me a little bit, and I want my kid to be like a functioning adult. Yeah. Like, I want him to grow up, find someone to love. I don't even care, like, as long as he finds love, someone that he can grow old with, you know. And that scares me because where he's at right now, I don't see a lot of progress, but he's still little.
¿Está chiquito? ¿Cuántos años tiene?
5.
Pero
ahorita it's to the point where he barely starting to call me mom.
Oh, how cute. He'll get there.
So that scares me.
The fact that he has you and that you're willing, because I think the problem, at least in our Latino community, certain things are taboo. Como que le digas, es que mi hijo es autístico.
Yeah, my mom's like, ay, es que yo no sé de esas cosas, apenas ando aprendiendo. And I was like, yeah. She's like, es que yo no entiendo esas cosas. And I'm like, I mean, I don't either. This is so new to me, you know?
Yeah. My mom doesn't either. Como ella a veces pierde su paciencia con mi sobrino. And I get her because he's busy. Like, that boy is busy as hell. Y tiene un poquito de autism.
Maybe ADHD. Maybe ADHD.
Es lo que le estaba diciendo a mi sister. Maybe it's ADHD.
A lot of these kids with autism is not only that; they have different other things.
Like varieties of things.
You need to watch Love in the Spectrum.
I'm gonna go watch.
Because these are actually legit, like, adults. Like, you know, atypical is like a character.
Like, it's real.
Yeah, they're real people with autism, and every autistic person there has different traits. It's so crazy. Everybody's so different. So I think that's why we don't have. I mean, they all have the same kind of like it's just every different
cosas similares.
Sí, cosas similares, pero all of them are different.
Yeah. Well, it's no different than us. We're different.
Yeah, I guess.
You know what I mean? Like, we're quote unquote normal, but at the end of the day, we're so different to each other. You have different likings, I have different opinions. Like, we're just different. So it's the same thing with them. It's just they have similar things, but then they also have, like, you know, I'm pretty sure, like, there are different things that they have to deal like on a daily basis and things like that. I think your baby will be fine because you're open to the idea. I think it just makes it hard for them cuando, por ejemplo, en nuestra comunidad latina no creemos in certain things and we're so hard on our kids and things like that. Like my youngest sister, this girl was like a freaking bunny. She would jump all over the place and she had certain traits. And now that we look back, I'm like, she probably had ADHD.
Probably. A lot of times when kids are born like that, they grow out of this stuff. Autism, not so much, but like ADHD, I know, like, you know, they learn, we learn to cope with things. Yeah. You know, as we get older. Yeah. Your baby's gonna find a page. She's so sweet. I hope so. She's so sweet. I freaking love her. I hope so, because she's so understanding. Like, she sincerely loves. Even when she messes up, she's like willing to like apologize. And she communicates with him. Yeah. Like, I think out of everybody, outside of his mom and his sister was somewhat understanding. I think she was the only person who really understood. I love when she... No, the best friend too. See, you know what? That's true. A seed, yes.
he was awesome too. I like the patience that he has.
So
how
much
he explained things to him. Cómo lo confundía, que el guy se quedaba como like,
yeah.
I don't know what you just said, but I'll process that and I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
That was a really good show. I think we
so
need more
good.
of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I am gonna go home and I'm gonna check that one that you set out just to see how.
So I tell my sister has no kids. My twin sister has no kids, and I think honestly, I will say that me having an autistic kid even scare her a little bit more because she sees the struggles that I go through with my kid, and it's hard, you know, like. But anyways, where was I going from this? That my sister doesn't have kids.
Oh, she doesn't want to have kids.
She doesn't have kids.
You scared her from having kids.
Yeah, I scared her from having kids. Yeah, she doesn't want kids because of that. But I understand, and sometimes she doesn't understand the fact that Oliver is different. You know.
Sí. I don't think a lot of people understand it. To be quite honest with you, my sister has always said, you know, I don't think my son is normal. That's how she would say it. I think there's something wrong with him. That's what she would always say. But you know what? I know I'm getting off the subject, but she was the first person that was like, something's wrong. When Oliver was 2, she was like, why is he not talking? Like, you need to go get that checked. Y yo, como madre, like, I never want to go somewhere and para que me digan que mi niño tengo algo, right? Sí. So I pushed it, like, I would, like, take it as in, like, he's fine. Yeah, and I would take it personal, and it would hurt me, you know? But I'm so thankful that she was one to tell me, like, no, you need to go. And I remember the first time I went to the, like, he needed to go get therapy. I remember the first time he needed to get evaluated to get started in this therapy. Mm-hmm. And I remember the first time they told me, like, you know, he does have a lot of autistic traits. He might be in the... Girl, I felt like un balde de agua se me vino. And I was like, in that instance, I was like so angry at my sister because she pushed me to get this diagnosis. But I'm so thankful now because now my son has been getting therapy since he was 2. He's not anywhere close where I want him to be, but I started him small. Yeah. That's kind of, I don't know. When my son was born, they told me that que tenía un hoyo en el corazón. Girl, that broke me. So I can't even imagine what it's like to have to get a diagnosis for your baby and you're like, damn, they have to live with this for the rest of their life. And I think as the mom, you think, what if I'm not around? Like, what if something happens to me? What when I'm not around? I'm going to tell you this story, like, super quick, but yo tengo una tía, and right now she's very sick with cancer. Mi tía is a single mom. They're older, so I have 2 girl cousins. Una que tiene como 30, and the other one, she's 23, 24, and she has Asperger's. But my tía never treated her when she was little, so she's very dependent on her mom. So ahorita andamos pasando de que, you know, my aunt's really sick right now. My mom's actually gotta go to Mexico to go 3 weeks there to take care of her. Ahorita, like this week. Mm-hmm. And what we're all kind of like thinking is like, ¿qué va a pasar con Diana? My little cousin with Asperger's, you know, who's gonna take care of her because she's so dependent on my aunt. Pero mi tía nunca quiso creer que ella tenía algo until like when she was like in middle school, like way older. You know. So that's what I think about. I'm like, I want him, like, this is my motivation for me to be more like independent, more high functioning, because I'm like, no quiero que pase como si algo me pasa a mí. ¿Qué va a pasar con el niño? Que cuando estaba mirando a Typical, I think the mom, like, that was her mistake. She was wanting to protect her baby so much que él dependía tanto en ella. Even, like, as far as, like, getting his own bank account and things like that. Things that in the real world is necessary. And if you're not here, he has to. And I'm so bad about it because he's my only kid and I baby him so much. But I need to learn. I feel like as soon as he starts getting more therapy, he's going to be more self-efficient. I think the therapy is going to help. I know with my nephew, when he was taking therapy, it helped him a lot, especially to share his feelings. Porque antes se enojaba, se ponía triste, cualquier feeling that he would have, and all he knew was to hit himself or try to hit somebody. Oh my gosh, the other day, Oliver had like an outburst, and this is the first time that he was like, angry, like he was like crying, and he was telling me he was like angry because I tell him, I'm like, mommy's really angry at you, you know, like, and then he was really, really upset, like he was to the point where he was like hitting himself and throwing everything, and he was like
angry, but the fact that he acknowledged that this is how he was feeling, that's what he was, I was like, whoa, like, we're getting somewhere, you know?
We're getting somewhere, yeah. That's really important because it's really hard to, like, be able to help them when you don't know what the problem is. I know with my nephew now, cuando también si nos dice que está enojado, que está triste, cositas así, like, now we know how to deal with the issue. But we also teach him, like, okay, you know how you're upset right now? Mommy's upset.
Yeah.
Like, you broke this lamp. That's not okay. We don't do that. I think your baby's gonna be fine though, honestly, just because you're so open to, like, being able to get him help and things like that versus having to wait until he's, like, a lot older and trying to figure life out at that point. So it's good that you're starting at such a young age with him, to try to figure out what you can do to help him.
Yeah, so I honestly, my advice to anybody that has kids and they feel like, you know, in your gut, you feel like maybe your kid is a little bit different, it's okay, like, to go get them diagnosed, go get them help as soon as possible, you know, because the sooner, the more successful your kid will be.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. And see, these are things that, again, when women are pregnant and, you know what I mean, things like this, no, we don't. A lot of people think of a pregnancy and they always congratulate you and they think that everything is beautiful and everything's like, oh my God, you're having a baby, how pretty do you look, your hair looks good, y por dentro estás toda demacrada, estás como, ay, me quiero morir, no me siento bien. But we'll see what happens with the whole Roe versus Wade thing. Hopefully that gets re-overturned, or however you say it, because I think that women should have the right to choose what they want to do with their pregnancy,
with their lives.
I do
their bodies.
think that there should be some type of program for people who abuse it, you know.
Because
I'm pretty sure there is women out there that les vale.
But you know what? It's their choice.
It is.
Their bodies are the ones that are going through that.
That's true. So,
I mean, I'd rather them abuse it than be raising
kids.
Yeah.
Popping
you know
kids.
What I mean?
I tengo una amiga que she adopted her cousin's baby or something like that. She's such a great mom. She has them already in school, tan chiquitos, ni siquiera tan grandes. Los tiene en la escuela, los tiene in programs and things like that. So she's such a great mom to those two kids. But the mother of these kids, like, she just pop babies. Cada cuando se le antoja, she's just popping babies. And it's like, these two kids, because she has more kids, these two kids are together, they're growing up in a good home, you know, their adopted mom or their mommy, like, she's really good with them, but not every kid has that luck.
Yeah.
Not every kid
has
the luck to be able to find
a good family
person or a family that's going to be able to love them and take care of them and protect them.
And as their own, dude.
Yes, it's like, we should think about those kids that do have to go in the system and do have to deal with shit or get sent to family
I feel like the people
members.
that do these, like, laws or overturn these laws, they don't think about other people. They think about their feelings and how they feel about that situation.
About themselves.
But they don't think about everything else around the issue, you know?
How it's affecting everyone else, and it's sad. Pero ¿qué le vamos a hacer, no? Anyhow, so...
This was a good talk.
It was. Thank you. I appreciate it. We'll have a new home soon.
Yeah.
A new place that we're going to be recording, so you guys are going to be able to see us there.
But we'll see, because what if we like the sound in here?
I know. I was just thinking that right now, too.
So...
We're having technical issues, guys.
You guys are testing waters.
Yes, we are.
We're gonna get it right, but thank you for joining us regardless, you know, and experiencing this with us, you know.
Seriously, we are having technical issues, so por favor, ténganos un poquito de paciencia. We'll get our shit together soon. We'll be doing good. When are you going to Chicago?
The last week of June, so I think the 28th.
Last week of June.
28th.
So are you gonna spend 4th of July over there?
No, I'm gonna be back on the 2nd. It's a Saturday. Yeah, I try to book my vacations when I don't have my kid most of the time, because you know, I don't want to. When he's with his dad, I'd rather do that, like, for him to stay with his dad than anybody else. You know.
That's true. That's true. So we'll try to record, hopefully. Yeah. By the end of the month, before you leave, or if not, when you get back, para que nos chismes.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you guys the tea.
Yes. You're going with a few girls, right?
Yes.
All right, girls, y'all better spill that tea so we can get it all here.
It's gonna be fun.
All right, guys, nos vamos a despedir. Gracias for joining us. It was an honor. Thank you again, Karo, for accepting my invitation.
I'm so excited. Like, this is right. I was telling my sister, I'm like, girl, I love to talk, so why wouldn't I?
Me too. I like to have civilized conversations.
Yes.
I don't like when people get super overheated because it's like, dude,
Or
what are
personal.
you getting so mad? Like, this
We're
is
just
just
having
my
conversation.
opinion. Like, you want me to agree with you? Like, I'm sorry, I can't.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I do agree, it's gonna be a boring conversation because it'll be like, okay. That means I'm ignoring you. But anyways, alright guys, make sure that you guys check us out on Anchor, Spanglish por favor. We're also going to be on YouTube. I still haven't uploaded the first video and I don't know how long it's going to take us to upload this one here. But we're going to be on Spanglish por favor podcast on YouTube, and you guys can also find us en nuestras redes sociales. Vamos a estar en TikTok, Spanglish por favor, Instagram, yes. Spanglish por favor. My personal one on Instagram is official Mary Wagner, and my personal one on TikTok is Mary Wagner. So make sure you guys follow us. And Karo, what are yours?
My personal IG is Karo is it underscore M? Right. Is that what it is? Underscore Karo. @Karo_M. And then my TikTok is @Karo_M89. That's me on TikTok and IG. So if you guys want to follow.
I'm trying to log in to find you just to confirm, and I'm accidentally on Giovanni's.
TikTok.
IG.
Karo.
Did you know this kid? So let me tell you, first of all, chisme, before we finish. Mason is in love with Hermione from ¿cómo se llama? Harry Potter.
No way.
Yes, like mad in love. So much in love that we're gonna go to Universal Studios this weekend for his birthday because he swears that she's gonna be there.
Aww.
And I'm like, she's not gonna be there.
You know what it is? You have big hair like her. You know how they always say like.
You think so?
You know how they say like boys tend to like go for traits
that look like their mamas. El pelo sí lo tiene todo wavy. Está bien bonita. And I told him, we were having this conversation last night. Le dije, you do know that she's older, right? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, let me show you a picture of her, how she looks now. And he was like, yeah. She's pretty. And I was like, oh, okay. Okay, we're in trouble. Okay, so yours is Karo_M on Instagram.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Karo_M89 on el TikTok. And then TikTok. Yes. Yeah, that's our.
I just want to confirm it.
Yes.
Yeah, Karo_M89. So make sure you guys follow us on social media. I will keep you guys updated or posted on our next episode. And again, Karo, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And thank you to our videographer and photographer, Betsy. Hi, Bets. All right, guys. Los quiero mucho. Adiós.
Bye.
Este fue otro episodio de Spanglish por favor. You can find us on TikTok and Instagram @Spanglish por favor. Gracias, hasta la próxima.